Okay, we'll now spend some time entering data into SPSS. Let's give you a sense of the look and feel of SPSS and how different it is from Excel. So we're going to enter in the following data file, and then we'll you'll basically see how it works. So first thing is to open up SPSS. Hopefully you've got it downloaded from Apps Anywhere. If you have any problems with that, feel free to contact me. I have it here installed on my PC. Okay, my SPSS has opened, and you're going to look. It looks like Excel in terms of it's got a grid pattern to it, but it does not function like Excel. So it's not dynamic like Excel. You can't enter formulae into cells. So all the cells hold is raw data. And what you'll notice at the bottom left is there's two tabs. There's data view and variable view. Data view is the actual data. Variable view is the information about each of the variables. And you'll see in a sense how this works in a bit. The key thing for SPSS is the data. SPSS works best if the data is entered in a numeric form. So as you recall, with the nominal variables, when I was dealing with punch cards, I would take one column and I would designate that as, say, sex, and 0 for male, 1 for female. And if I put in additional codes, I put in additional information before I entered the punch cards with the data were processed, I would just have a command that said, if you see in column 1 a 0, that's the variable sex and it's a male. If you see a 1, it's a female. So the SPSS still functions like that in a very batch kind of way, in a very static kind of way. Okay, so I'm going to enter in this data here, and I guess I'll just leave it right here, and I'll toggle back and forth to it. Okay, so I'm going to be on the variable view tab. So here's variable view. Let's shrink this down a bit. So this is variable view, and then it tells me gives me information on my variables. So what I'm going to do is you'll see what happens here. So right now, data view, var, var, var. Columns are variables, rows are people or participants. And all you see is a ghosted out var. The first variable I have is subject. Now if I type in subject under name, and I press enter, you can see how it fills out the rest of the columns for the information on the variable. It's a numeric variable. This is old punch card, and 8 wide, 2 decimal places. We don't really worry about that stuff anymore because we have so much memory. But the most important thing you're going to see is we now have a variable column subject. So it's filled. It's not ghosted var anymore. It's actually the subject. And I can enter in my other variables. Age, sex, and I'm just going to call the next one KMs. You got to be really careful with Excel SPSS because it does not like variables that have weird characters. So if I did that, it would say variable name contains an illegal character, and it doesn't really give me it doesn't give me a good reason why, but I know it can't have that. It can't start with a number, which is weird. Variable name contains an illegal character. It can't have a space. Boom. So there's a whole series of rules in terms of what the variable name is. And the variable name is what SPSS actually uses in its analysis. So I'm just going to call it KMs. Okay. Now when I look at data view, I have now 4 columns: subject, age, sex, KMs. Now I can then just enter in the data here for male subject 1 through 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's got decimal places. I don't really need them, so I can just get rid of that, and now it's coded that way. Okay. Get my trusty little board here. Okay. So I now have I have age, which I'll enter. I can enter in the age 33, 35, 33, 40. Then it's got missing. Just leave that one blank for now. 25, 32. Okay, so I have a missing value. So over here, I'm going to see there's a column here for missing. So for age, it needs to know SPSS gives special numbers, designates those as missing values. So in this case, I'm going to go with a missing value of minus 9. So nobody can be minus 9 in years. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in here a minus 9. And that tells, and SPSS will know, okay, if it sees a minus 9, it knows that it's a missing value. Now, I can also say, well, what does that minus 9 mean in terms of a label? So if I go values, and I go label minus 9 and missing. So that's just giving it a label. Add and OK. So you may have to do grid line. Oh, no, I don't want. I like grid lines here. So there's a toggle here for value labels. So here it is. It's just a minus 9. Okay, so how that works is so in variable view, minus 9 is designated as a missing value. So minus 9 is designated as a missing value. I then say give it a label. So the label for minus 9 is missing. And the label just is like a layer on top that just gives, it allows people, if they see that, they go, oh, what's minus 9? I go, oh, it's a missing value. It'll make more sense in a sec when we enter in the variable age. So, I want this. So then I have the variable sex. Now I'm going to do this. This is going to be a nominal variable. So sex will be is nominal. So 1 will refer to male, and 0 refer to female. And this would be, this is punch card mentality, I will call it. So SPSS still thinks you're dealing with punch cards. It's not very smart. So I have to tell if I'm going to enter in a 1 for male and a 0 for female. So now, so if it's a male, the first one is a male. So I enter in a 1, a 1, a 0, a 0, a 0, a 1. Okay. So males are 1, females are 0. And this is that one column in a punch card. And in that column, if it sees a 1, it knows it's a male. If it sees a 0, it knows it's a female. But I still have to tell SPSS that designation. And where I do that is here. So for sex, the values, it's a nominal variable, and I have to say what it refers to. So if it's a 0, it's a female. Add. If it's a 1, it's a male. So the value labels, this is 1960s thinking, right? This is how SPSS was designed in 1960 some, and the thinking of SPSS has not changed since then. So it still really thinks it's a punch card. And I go, okay. Now if I look at my data, and if I view value labels. So if I view value labels, it shows me it doesn't show me the numbers, because what SPSS actually works with, SPSS is working with the 1s and 0s. So when it does any analysis, that's what it works with. But to show you on the screen, and to also when it pumps out output, it will just lay on top of this the labels for those numbers, to tell you what those numbers mean. And that's with value labels. Okay. Now the next one is kilometers walked. So kilometers walked is a numeric variable. It's actually a ratio. You can walk 0 kilometers. 2, 3, 4, 1. Now I have a don't know and missing. Don't knows are a form of missing. So I can just give it a number that's out of range that it just won't do. So I can do minus 98. And minus 99. Now I have to designate those as missing. So I have to tell SPSS if it sees minus 98, get rid of it. Because if I run it and it thinks that the actual person went backwards 98 kilometers, then it won't work. So I got to say for missing for kilometers, discrete values, minus 98 and minus 99. And I go, okay. So SPSS will know that 98 is missing and 99 is missing. Now what I also want to do is give it a label. So I want people, if we see this data set, to know what minus 98 means. Minus 98 refers to female, or refers to don't know. And labels can any text, because it's something that SPSS works with on the surface and doesn't do any deep analysis using that stuff. Minus 99 is flat out missing. And I go add, and I go okay. And now if I see don't know missing, and everything looks good. Now if I toggle off value labels, this is what SPSS actually works with. So when it does analysis, this is what it does. So if I look at now, if I want to provide output, so first of all, I would save the data off. I can save it anywhere. Let's call data for intro video. Go save, and there it's gone. Now, if I want to analyze it, now this is this screen popped up here. So this is once again old mainframe thinking, and everything is kind of like very linear, what's referred to as very batch. So I basically ran a procedure in SPSS. This is the syntax that SPSS ran. SPSS ran a command, save out file, and then saved it. That's SPSS syntax is its own little special programming language, and it pops it up in what's referred to as the SPSS viewer. So the viewer is, SPSS still thinks punch card, and SPSS still thinks that you're going to pick up your print jobs from the tape ape at the computer science building where the mainframe is in 1968. And this is what would have been on the printout. This is the printout. So instead of it, nothing funky or advanced about it, it just, instead of it printing it to a dot matrix printer on a mainframe with the little holes, the spooling thing, it sends it to not the printer, it sends it to this output viewer, which is just a glorified it's a glorified mainframe print job. Now, if I want to analyze, let's say I want to calculate the average age, so I can go analyze. Let's put view value labels on. Analyze descriptive stats. We can go descriptives, and I want that for age. And let's put in kilometers too. And then I go OK. And there's 5 individuals for age. Now I have 6 subjects in here, but it's only reporting 5. Why is it reporting 5? Because it knows that for subject 4, the age is missing. So the min is 25, the max is 40, mean, and the standard deviation. And for kilometers, I have only 4 subjects because 2 are missing. Subject 5 said don't know, and subject 7 was just missing. They didn't provide an answer. So the mean for that of 2.5 is based on the 4 subjects. Once again, this goes to the output. So, and then I can run, if I want the breakdown for sex, I can go analyze. Let's go back here. Analyze descriptive stats, frequencies, sex, options. That's looking pretty funky and wide there. I can throw in a chart, a bar chart, and go continue, and go OK. Whoa, that's very speedy. So I have 3 males and 3 females. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now, as you can see, this is nothing like Excel, and that's the most important thing. Your data is structured here. Here's your data. This is what I actually entered in. These are the numbers that SPSS works with.